it makes sense and it makes money.
It always gonna make money.
If it makes money and it makes sense, then it makes big value.
Max B was on Memphis Bleak podcast earlier this week, and he asked him the $1 million question, what everybody want to know, which is he still willing to work with Jim Jones? People would be very interested in that. In fact, I think that's really the most interesting thing about Max B's career is that point where him and Jim Jones was working together. But as like he said, shit, if it make money, he willing to do it. And what else you expect to hear from a man that just did 20 years in jail? Of course, he willing to do anything that's gonna make some money. But I don't think Jim feel the same way. Because I remember back, I think this might have even been the first episode of the Let's Rap About It podcast where they asked Jim Jones the same question.
Where we at with that? Are you able to get past that?
No. Now we get past now. We can get past that now. You want to get past it? Or you want to dive more into it? Or you want me to tweak it?
I want you to get past it at some point.
You want me to crash out?
I definitely don't want you to crash out because I don't want to crash out. Now, what I want for myself, I want for my brother.
I appreciate it.
You see what I'm saying? Because there's too much money out here, there's too much life out here, and I like to do the things that I like to do. Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing feel better than living right now.
You're right.
Being alive and getting money and waking up.
No better feeling. There's no better feeling ever in the world.
Because Wife and Lucci and Thug got past it. You think you could have an issue with it and get past it?
As grown men, being able to put their differences behind them. I don't know the severity. I mean,
people. Fact.
Well, if that's a fact, then that's pretty severe. So you got to be a pretty strong soul to be able to put that type of behind you. From as we all grew up in different parts of the hoods like that, and that doesn't happen too often when it's shed or somebody loses somebody and things like that. So looking at that's definitely very commendable like that for two grown men to be able to do that. I would say that, you know what I mean?
Jim like, that's cool for them, but I ain't patching up nothing. And I happen to agree with Jim Jones on that one. A lot of times people act like, once you have a falling out, that the best at the end of the day you get back together and everything is okay. Like it's supposed to be this Disney World type ending, and that's not always the case. Sometimes when you fall off with a person, it's for y'all to stay falling out forever. Ain't no rekindling the relationship. That sometimes is the worst thing you can do. So if Jim Jones say he good on that, like maybe Max B crossed the line that he don't feel he can come back from. And a lot of people feel that way. I mean, this man was out there talking about he slept with Jim Jones' wife and she touched it in Miami. That man ain't trying to be cool with you no more, man. I feel like Jim Jones got enough money where he don't have to be out here sacrificing his principles just for a chick. And that's ultimately what he's trying to say. Max B, man, go starve. I'll never make another dollar with you. I understand that, it would ideally people would get back together and, friends would sit down and work it out. But a part of healing is also knowing when to walk away and not go back, man. It's time to move forward with your life. And that's what Jim Jones saying. Max B needs the relationship to work. Jim Jones out here getting money on his own. He done recreated himself several times. He in the algorithm. He viral every other week. What the hell he need to sit down with a man that disrespected his wife for? And here's a clip of Jim doubling down. It's another interview where he said he ain't never working with Max B again. He don't even really want to hear the man's name.
Max B when he gets
Max B.
Okay.
Max suck dick out of here.
All right. Okay. Has that conversation even come up though?
No, people don't play with me with that conversation. Ain't nobody can tell me nothing about that. That's the first thing I say. You heard?
Okay.
That's how you feel. That end the deal for anybody. There ain't no Max talking about conversation. Period.
Okay.
Personally, I would like to see Max B and Jim Jones work together. I mean, just for the culture, just for nostalgic purposes. In my opinion, he did his best work with French Montana, though. Jim Jones was just stealing all the man's best songs. But if they came together, if they had the right song and they came together, it'll definitely be a moment. They will go viral. I'm not sure how many albums they gonna sell. I mean, maybe some shows. They could, like I said, they can maybe create some buzz. But that's about as far as it's gonna go, because I just think that moment has passed. If they was gonna work together, they was supposed to put something out when Max B first got out. That was the time to really take advantage of that opportunity. And then when you look at the fact that they both damn near, they like 50-year-old rappers. And when you get older, people don't really like to see you work together just for the check, because that messes up the experience. The fans don't want to see that. Like I said, a lot of these older acts, it's about nostalgia. We want to remember you at a high point in your life. Everybody's supposed to be happy. It's like a celebration. But when the people know y'all done fell out and it's really just all about the money, it don't feel the same. That's what happened with Dipset. They can't sell out a show. Nobody want to watch them perform because of all the infighting. And ultimately, it affects the music. I mean, when the last time Dipset made a good song together? They can't. It's too much animosity. So nobody wins. I mean, the people don't get any good music. We don't get a good experience. The artists they get a check, but they miserable the whole time. They don't even want to be working together. It kind of remind me of Cash Money with Turk. Hey, it's hard for Cash Money. Cash Money done sold 500 million records, and they can hardly put together a reunion tour because of all the infighting. But let's watch the full clip of Max B explaining why he is willing to work with Jim Jones.
You and Jim had a major turbulent, past. Is it a possibility that could ever be put to rest with y'all?
If it makes sense and it makes money.
It always gonna make money.
If it makes money and it makes sense, then it makes big value. Anything else is uncivilized. I don't give a fuck, because guess what? I'm doing well.
That's right.
And I'm giftedly crafted, and my shit is up to speed. So I really don't give a fuck who on my level or not. I'm gonna do what I do. But if it makes sense and it makes money, then it makes Max big value.
Bags on bags on bags on bags.
Capo gotta get his shit up. His algorithm's a little.
Nah, his shit lit. He been lit
He
right
lit?
now. He been lit.
But he.
Yo, chill, man. Chill, man.
Let your shit up.
Yo, chill. That's
I'm outside.
he lit on the algorithms though. Shit, that smoke get you
Yo, I
lit
told
right
bro the
now.
other day, I said, look,
Max just can't help himself, man. See, that's why Jimmy ain't gonna never work with him right there. Cause he's still up there taking shots at the man. He just can't give him his credit and close his damn mouth. It's them backhanded compliments. And really, Max B ain't never apologized for what he said about the man's wife. Maybe it's true. Maybe he doesn't feel sorry for it. But if you really wanted to work with Jim Jones, I would think that's something he would come out and do. I mean, if he was really serious about working with Jimmy, he would have already done it. And we all know it hasn't been done. So that leads me to believe he ain't serious about working with Jimmy, because that don't make sense. How you gonna get money with a man you talking about you done slept with his wife? If I was Max B, I'd come out and apologize for it, because he might be feeling good. He still might have a little juice because he came out not too long ago. But Max B, his 15 minutes of fame, they may be up pretty soon if he don't start aligning himself with somebody other than French Montana. He need to work with Jim Jones. And Jim Jones is too big a part of his career to just act like it never existed. It's too much interest in that situation. He leaving money on the table by being so prideful about it. And if we being real, Jim put him on. Wouldn't nobody know Max B if it wasn't for Jim Jones? And that alone deserves some respect. Max B is an arrogant motherfucker because he don't want to give Jimmy credit for putting him on. He don't want to apologize to the man for disrespecting his wife. So, Max might have a funnier personality than Jim Jones. He might be acting like everything cool, but judging by his actions, he's still just as resentful. He ain't moved past it either. So after, 16, 17 years, it looked like Jim Jones and Max B beef still up.